Good afternoon and welcome to Head to Head. How you doing, sir? I'm doing well. Thank you for calling into the show. We appreciate it. Little unfortunate circumstances today. Chris could not join us on the show. He has a prior engagement. I don't know if you listened to Monday's show, but he's down there working on his stuff with the Veterans Affairs Administration. And with that being said, they got him for 2 days instead of just one.
Veterans Affairs is always the biggest fear.
Oh yeah, it's a I don't know how to put it. It's a hell of a thing, for lack of better terms.
Yes, it is. It's a quick way to do a lot of stuff to do nothing.
That's right. So, Mr. Moore, tell us a little bit about yourself. Actually, let me start this way. I was reading through your website. At first glance on the homepage, I didn't know what, and if I may, I didn't know what I was looking at. I'm like, outdoors. This is an email text thing. What is this? You know? And but then I went to the blog and I started reading through it, and I was like, oh well, these guys are goddamn geniuses, because they came up with a way for people to actually still live their own lives.
Exactly. How'd you like to run for president in 20 years and know nobody read your email?
That'd be great.
Wouldn't that'd be an interesting concept, wouldn't it?
That'd be fantastic.
Just a quick rundown. I'm a marketing guy and I'm CEO of a couple of companies that I sold, and then my partner, the IT guru, and we were one day chatting, and I said, I don't know about anybody else, but I hear all these complaints about all of our emails being read, everything we do, text being read, basically sold,
right.
The highest bidder for stuff. And I said, quite frankly, it's bullshit,
Yeah.
What you put on Facebook is open source. It's for everybody to read. But what you send people in an email, that's between you and the sender or sendee.
It should be, right?
And correct. So I decided to put my money where my mouth was, and we started Outdoor Mail. And Outdoor Mail is simply a email texting platform, and it also has a unique feature, kind of like Dropbox, except for if you send it to somebody and they don't have the Dropbox, like Dropbox is, they can still open it.
Right.
So the person doesn't need to be on. So we put all that together, but nobody reads it. Right? The only people who read it is who you send it to and yourself.
Correct.
No one will ever peruse through your emails, take your pictures, and sell that data to the highest bidder, because, well, quite frankly, I don't think it's any of our business. And being you're a Marine and you understand this, we believe in the Constitution, we believe in the Miranda, we have held that, and my freedom of speech and everybody else's is not for sale. So,
well, we'd like to hope that it's not for sale, but as we're stating here today, we know big corporations, and everything's for sale, right? So
everything's for sale, but here's the problem. Is it shouldn't be.
Correct.
Right? I'm old school. It should be. There's privacy is just that. It's privacy, and so we take that kind of serious, and we say, and we mean it, that privacy comes before profit. Well, advertising, sure, we'll have advertising. We have advertising, but the thing is they don't get to blast your email box because they don't know who you are. If you want something from them, here's a novel idea. You click on their site, which would be provided, on our pages, right? Not on in your email, right? So if you'll see stuff that'll be posted, in different advertising specs, and say, hey, here's cool stuff. I'd like to buy it. That was another thing I decided. I said, hey, hell, I could go online right now and I could look at a freaking car, shampoo. Hell, I can look at a condom on the damn thing. But you know what I can't find on there? What you prohibit? Guns. Now, why would they prohibit gun manufacturers being able to advertise? I think it's ridiculous. It's not fair.
Yeah.
So we have no problem with that. Matter of fact, we embrace it. Hey, if a gun manufacturer wants to tell us about the newest, latest, greatest gun, and they want us to put their advertising out there, we are all all for that.
I like that.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we're the outdoor people. Actually, I think we're still the majority of the people in this country that hunt, fish, you know, you take photos in the outdoors, for God's sakes. I mean, we're outdoor, conservative type people, right? So that's why this was born, was, you know, to kind of right some wrongs and give people the peace of mind to know that when they send an email, ain't nobody reading it the way they intended to.
Well, actually, I wholeheartily agree with you on this topic, and that this product needs to be made. And I'm going to guess that the 99% of the population here in America is either, and I'm guilty of it, either using Google Mail, Yahoo Mail, connecting through Facebook, text messages, etc. And it's all eventually it's all can be public record or can be subpoenaed. But for what you guys are bringing forward to the table, it's showing me that there's another majority or another a group out there, a majority of people that want that privacy and that want that individual. So basically, from what I understand about your product, excuse me, what I understand about your product and what your service that you're offering is that you're bringing forward kind of the good old American way of keep to yourself. Don't be so narcissistic and have everything out there, for one thing, but two, whatever you do want to be narcissistic about, it can be in your own privacy.
Correct. And you know, you're talking about, you know, that everything can be subpoenaed. Even we can be subpoenaed. The difference
I was going to ask you that.
Gmail, Yahoo, they have an agreement. They don't even have to subpoena. They just walk in and get the records if they want to. And that's common knowledge. I mean, they actually make it available. Here's the thing, I don't know if you're in Pittsburgh.
We're just north of Philadelphia area.
Philadelphia. Okay.
Same difference though, just the other side of the state.
You probably seen one of these big like Google or buildings, you know, where they got the massive buildings with all the servers, etc.
Oh yeah.
You've seen some of you know, it doesn't really require all of that power servers to actually do what they do, right? To send, search, all that stuff. They don't require that. Why they're so big is they require that because of all data storage.
Right.
I mean,
correct.
So when an email sent, it never, ever gets deleted. When you post anything, it never gets deleted. It is stored, right?
Right.
We don't. If it's only kept as long as you keep it on our system. So if you delete it, it deletes off ours. So, and this isn't to be.
Well, that actually saves you guys. That actually saves you guys money over time as well, because you're not holding all those extra data.
Right. I don't need 500 billion servers to store your data. But here's the thing: if you're subpoenaed, the records are subpoenaed, and I turn them over, and they say, well, what happened to these days? Well, I guess they deleted them. Once they're deleted there, they're deleted off our system. We only keep what's required by law. Other than that, that's it. We don't. I mean, sorry, that's just the way it is.
Right.
Why would I bother? I mean, we do everything by the book, by the law. I mean, yeah, sure. You have to keep a record for so long. After that, it's deleted.
Okay.
Right. I'm not in the storage business. I'm in the email, texting, and so on business. I'm in the privacy business.
Yeah, I like that.
That's the way I look at it. What the internet should have been. Pardon me, before the liberals got hold of it.
No, let it out. Go for it. No, because they're the ones that should have had the whole they're the ones that should have been using your service anyway, right?
Right. You know, definitely, because you know now we know everything on them because well, their stuff's for sale too. That's the funny thing is their stuff is for sale too, and nobody ever got that.
Yeah.
You know, I think some of the folks on the other side finally sat there and said, wait a minute, if their stuff's for sale, isn't our stuff for sale? Yes, it is. It is. You're you know, and it's not just for sale in the United States. I mean, their stuff is, I mean, China, for God's sakes, has our data, you know, because Zuckerberg's working a deal with him, and one of the parts of the deal is all the data storage is over there. So guess who has the data from everything we send over here? Picture, everything.
Yeah, that's a little insane to me as well. I'm actually pretty good personally with not sending things through email and text, and not posting vulgar or too much stuff on Instagram and Facebook. I mean, I'm 37 years old. I'm on the cuff of I use it, but it's not something that I have to live off of. Now, if Chris was here, he'd tell you the complete opposite. He doesn't have anything. He's off the radar, and I appreciate that about him, because it's hard to do. And I've tried numerous times to back off, and no matter what you do, I know that all the information's still out there. But even in our daily lives, having that clarity and peace of mind, not using social media and not putting stuff out there, you know, and I'm sure you'd agree with me on this, and I'll tell you now, 17, 18-year-old Scott wouldn't be where I'm at today if I had social media, because I probably would have messed up more than a million times, and I would have got caught for it.
Absolutely.
So it's good that it wasn't out there then.
Cell phones is one of the worst things that ever happened to kids. I mean, I'm sorry, but when I was growing up, we used this thing that was like attached to a wall, right?
With a cord.
Yeah, a little rotating deal that went on there.
Yeah.
So eventually it came to a push button. But, you know, we knew to come home when the sun started going down. You know, I mean, that was the kind of rule.
Yeah, the street lights came on. Yep.
Yeah, and now the cell phone is tethered to the parent. Well, I don't know about anybody else, but I didn't want my mother to have it tethered to me. I wanted to do what I was supposed to be doing when I was a kid.
Yep.
You know? So, yeah, it's just technology has its place, and you're saying, you know, like your partner there, he's off the grid, and I do appreciate that, but being, you know, think about guys that are in business, they have to be on technology.
Right.
And I'll give you a little example of how things go awry with email and texting. So, insurance industry. All these, if any insurance guys are listening, you'll appreciate this. So, a guy goes out in the insurance world, and he goes to a lead company, and he buys a whole bunch of leads. And what they do is they send out 1,000 pieces of mail, and that mail comes back, you know, from those people that say, yeah, I'd like to know something more about the insurance. Those cards are scanned in and sent to the insurance agent who purchased them at about $35, $40 a card. Okay, so, but the industry gets a little annoyed because, you know, back in the day, it worked wonderful. Nowadays, it's like, okay, I bought these cards, but now all these other agents are also knocking on the door, you know, either before or right after me, and I'm competing with them. I thought you said you didn't sell those to anybody else. They did. When they scanned them in and sent them to the agent, within seconds, that email was then categorized. Those lead cards were
really
sold to another company, who then sold them to somebody instantly who wanted leads for insurance. So your lead that you paid that big bucks for was sold to somebody for about half the price, because they bought them for pennies. And then it was sold again to some other agent, and sold again to some other agent.
Wow.
And that's how technology can be used against you. And that's why we say, hey, as long as you're on a secure deal, they can't do that, right? So
right.
Ours is secure, so it goes from here, you know, from there straight into your box. Because most businesses have secure deals, but when they send it out, and somebody says, I've got, you know, insurance guy at Yahoo or Gmail, you just opened up Pandora's box.
Yeah.
Now just put all your stuff for sale. Or if you're talking to a client about, and he says, I want to look at buying $500,000 worth of insurance on me and my family, and he sends you an email saying that, and you send an email back. Well, those key phrases are run through algorithm, instantly picked up, and that his information is now sold to other agents that he's looking at $500,000. They can say they don't do it. I will tell you, there's thousands of agents say they're lying. They do it because it happens all the time. And I'm sure that even though you use it very little, you've probably seen this word, even on your phone. If you say something, all of a sudden you get ads.
Right.
So the very thing you just said, that happened to me the other day. Is I have a shoulder, I was having a shoulder problem, and I went to I said I got to call the doc about my shoulder. And I started getting ads, and I didn't even email them.
about
I
shoulder
don't know
pain
why.
and medicine and everything.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. There's a
freaking head.
yeah. There's some jokes out there that says, you know, hey, I was just thinking about that. How did it even get to my computer? I didn't tell anybody. So you know, you're thinking about buying a new car. You never typed it in. You never did anything, but you you go to your computer and all of a sudden car ads are popping up. So you know, they're in our heads whether we know it or not. I agree with that. It's funny. I don't want to go down the wrong path, but maybe we should. I'm a huge conspiracy theorist, and you know, I believe. I know Alex Jones out there. He's a conspiracy theorist. A lot of people like him. A lot of people don't like him. I believe that he tells half truths, and I believe a lot of it eventually comes true for what he says. But yeah, they're in our heads somehow. I don't know how they're in our heads, but yeah, there's trending. And I worked in marketing years ago, and the one way we marketed to our customers was MasterCard would sell our company the data on transactions, the age, the demographics of people, income, what they spent, and then we would go after them in that sense of who would be the best buyers for this. So even in that, we're targeting businesses and personal information for marketing.
Right. And you're a Marine, right?
Yes, sir.
Trust but verify.
That's right.
That's the old adage. I mean, it really is. You can say I trust, but you're going to have to verify. And so, in this world that we've become in and we live in, where everything seems to be recorded that you said 20 damn years ago, which is kind of ridiculous, you know.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, I just thought, you know, it is really it's way past time to basically try to turn the internet back to what it should have been in the first place, which is a great tool for businesses, a way to communicate without being violated.
Right.
I feel that when they start doing all this stuff, they violate it. You know, sure, is it legal what they do? Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's
all
corporate.
Of us check the box. We check the box.
That's right.
And it says that there says that they own the data, right? They own everything that you do, right? It says it on there, right? So here's the unique thing. Ours simply says we don't own your data. It's your data. It's not our data. It's yours. So we don't own it because we really don't. With Google, Yahoo, Gmail, Zoho, all that, you are the product, right?
Right.
People are the product.
Makes sense.
With us, you're our customer. You're the customer. We're the product. So we decided, yeah, we'll have free service. We also have a premium service. We have business services. I mean, but our premium service is $31 a year. I mean, if your security with all the cool features isn't worth $31 a year.
Yeah, I saw that was like 1 terabyte of data too. That's kind of huge for the price, to be honest with you, because I could store all my pictures, all my wife's pictures, everything through your email server. Just being honest with you, and we still would have about half the data left over.
Yeah.
So
you know what, storage? I mean, that stuff is cheap. Because here's the deal: will you really use that? No. And the thing is, people don't use a lot. The concept of buying this massive amount of stuff is really, I mean, I know people that went out and got like 4 or 5 terabyte drives and all that. Oh, yeah, I'll be able to store everything. And they never use the one drive.
Yeah, you could cut your house into pieces.
They got all those extra drives in there.
That's
like,
right.
How's it working out for you?
Yeah, you could cut your house into pieces and do it that way as well, and then put it in there, and you'd still have room left over. So do me a favor, sir. Tell our listeners here a little bit about where they can find you, what they should do, and what they should do to start transitioning over to a more private server, so to speak, so email and text.
It's simple. All you have to do is go to outdoormail.net, sign up. If you don't want the extra stuff, you just sign up for the free service. If you want the premium, it's $30 plus $1 convenience fee. It's $31 a year. It's no further. Get all your friends to sign up, because remember, even though we are secure, right? If somebody else decides to send let's say you send an email from ours to somebody else, and they're on Gmail, well, they're still going to read your email because you sent it and they opened it in Gmail. So get your friends to sign up. And I'm not saying we're going to change the fact that they're going to take your data or whatever. I'm saying that if you send it between our server to their server, or you send it from our server to a business server, which is secure, it's secure, right?
Right.
And the same thing with, you know, how many emails companies, you know, can let you even text through your own email platform.
Yeah, explain how that works.
Texting.
You can email to a phone number. Is that basically what it is?
You can. No, it's text.
Okay.
Because we have actually texting software system. This is where my partner comes in handy. He's a guru of this stuff, so it's an actual text that uses our email platform, but it is a text platform at the same time.
Okay.
And it's all secure, so it's pretty cool the way he did it. He's one of those creative geniuses. He does a lot of stuff, and that's all he does. He's an Alabama boy. He doesn't act like one of them normal IT folks, but he is definitely one of those IT folks. And you know, he's like me. He's you know, older, died hard, you know, private guy. You know, just keep everything private.
Yeah, don't forget to add good looking though. You always got to add good looking in there when you're talking about that.
Well, that would be me.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, and I always, you know, as you said, we're a veteran-owned company, and I always, he goes, but they asked me, I'm not a veteran. I said, I'll just tell them you're the recon man of IT. There you go.
That's right. I like that. This is pretty good.
Yeah. So he tried, but he had flat feet. And back in the day, you know, flat feet that you were doing.
So let me ask you this: Have you guys ever been subpoenaed by the government? Have you ever ran into any legalities that you've overcame?
No, don't have to. We don't do anything illegal.
Right.
I mean, honestly, what would you subpoena me for? I mean,
well, you would be subpoenaing for somebody else's information, right? So they would send you a subpoena for somebody else's information.
Yeah, and you know, the only reason the government's going to subpoena information, and it's in their right, and I think all of us would agree that, even though I say we're secure, you know, they still can run algorithms on anything, on anybody, right? They have that ability, and they do, and they're only looking for key things. They're looking for terrorist activity, right? So if you're talking about bombing something in your email, pretty sure you're going to get your stuff subpoenaed. I mean, it's a given that they may subpoena you if you're sitting there, I'm going to bomb a school, and you actually were dumb enough to put that in any email. You probably should expect a visit from the FBI or something, you know. And we'll probably get, hey, can we get those records? Here's your subpoena. Sure, we fold up. There you go. Hey, if you're an ISIS or Al Qaeda guy and you're using our email and you get subpoenaed, we turn them over.
I like that. That was gonna be my next question to you. You already knew that was coming down the line, so.
Yeah, you know the government is looking for those key component words that may be a threat. Now, hey, I bought an AK-47. Nobody gives a damn. You know, I really think, you know, you start talking about bombing stuff, I'm sure they're watching and they're looking, and they should be. Hey, do we not have security for a reason? That's what we do. But if they say, hey, I want this guy's data, did you bring me a subpoena? No. Okay, well, have a great day. Because it's not because I'm an asshole, it's because I believe in everybody's Miranda rights and their Constitution. No subpoena, no paper,
Agreed.
no access. It's just, and the other guys don't. Go ahead, plug in, you know, whatever you want to do. And if they ever say they don't, they've already been got on the news stating they do. So yes, they do. It's open source for them. You know, you can if you're for sale, you also could be free to the government. So I mean, it's just one of those things. I believe that anybody that wants data has to have a subpoena, and they can't get too upset if you know, they ask for stuff that doesn't exist, and I have to say, well, it was deleted months ago because they deleted it because off our system. We need it. Well, you know, what we need, what we did, probably going to be two different things.
Correct.
So I can't be held liable for that. And you know.
Well, you have to do your civic duty as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. I guarantee it do a civic duty. You know, again, we're the outdoors people. You know that we believe in the Second Amendment. We also, you know, we believe that if you know, as old Ted Nugent like to say, an armed society is a very polite society.
There you go.
And we probably could curtail a lot more of these issues with people if people would just do what they did back in our day. It took a village to raise a kid, and a lot of these problems that they blame on gun violence, which you as a Marine, as a Marine, you know, it's a bunch of bullshit. There is no such thing as gun violence. Gun is just an object. It's people violence.
Well, it's ill trained and ill informed and immaturity that comes along with a lot of things. So I was actually going to ask you a question. How do you feel about? Chris and I were speaking about this, I believe, last Friday, and we had a lot of feedback from our customers. So I'll kind of go into it with you. How do you feel about the border wall? Speaking of security and all this, you know, me and Chris ourselves are huge believers in the more the merrier, the higher the better, the deeper the better. So, you know, how do you feel about that?
I'd like it smooth on our side, a little rough and nasty on the other side.
There you go. I like
a lot of Constantine and razor wire on the top, and a little seismic deals on the bottom. Anybody try to dig under. Look, you know, everybody that doesn't think we need a border wall doesn't believe we need a country.
Or they've never been to the border.
Country, yeah, oh, that's exactly right. I used to take my wife, and we used to go, you know, we're from Texas, so we used to take my wife to Mexico all the time. We'd go to Laredo or Nuevo Laredo, and then we'd go in over the Eagle Pass and places like that. And there was a lot of issues over the years. It's gotten so bad that we no longer go because, you know, too violent, you know, because, you know, obviously there's no guns over there. Guns are totally illegal, so there's bullets flying everywhere over there in that gun-free zone. And so it's off the table, right? So if that's the way they want to live their life, that's fine. But that's their side of the wall.
Right.
This side of the wall, we like peace and harmony. Every country, you know, even Mexico, they're, you know, so, well, why do you build a wall? Well, why do you have it? You got one down south, right? You know, they said, well, what are we going to do? Build a border against Canada? Well, Canada's not bad neighbors. I mean, I'm sorry, it's south, and I'm not saying that Mexican people are bad. Mexican people are great people. It's
the transients.
Yeah,
it's the transient terrorists and everybody else, the security threats, right, and drugs, you know, human trafficking, and all that stuff.
Those target-rich environment people, yes, those people. Those people keep wanting to come over here, and what do? They raid, pillage, plunder, and then, you know, we got to prove our tolerance. We don't have to prove our tolerance. We just need to hone our shooting skills. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I think
criminals are criminals, and you need to keep them on their side of the border. You want to send your good ones over? Great, we'd love to take them over. I mean, I grew up with a lot of immigrants. Hey, you know, it's a slap in the face for every legal immigrant that came over here to allow a wall not to be built and make it where we, the people, are having to tolerate this stuff. I mean, it's just my grandparents came over from Ireland.
Okay.
From this country, they did it legally. Why can't they do it legally?
Yep.
I mean, was what mine did in vain for no reason?
Yeah, it's I'll tell you now. I mean, for me personally, I truly believe in coming over here legally. I don't think I think there should be a huge process. I think it should be a lot of vetting. I think it should be looked at your background, everything in between. And for me, the border wall is it's a huge part, but it's minuscule because we actually need more troops at the border. We need, you know, I'd like to see National Guard members. Me personally, I'd like to see National Guard members every mile, right? Just, I mean, that's why they're there. That's why we have the National Guard. You know, I know there's self militia down there already, men on horseback that apprehend the immigrants coming over and then call border security when they arrive, and then they just take them to the processing and send them back, and it's just a game of cat and mouse and catch and release. And I think at some point, and you mentioned something earlier that kind of, you know, tolerance. I believe that is our tolerance. Our tolerance is that we want you to come here legally, and that is our tolerance. Like, that is our right to say that and believe that. Do you? I want you to come here illegally? No, I don't. Like, I really don't, because I work my butt off for you to end up getting free healthcare in certain states, free education in certain states now, housing, and you're getting a stipend for payment and food. And I'm working my butt off 45 hours a week, plus running another company, plus doing whatever it is to help out other veterans and stuff. And you know, Joe Schmo or Jose Schmo can walk across the border and say, "Oh, I'm here legally. Okay, well, we're going to set a court date to send you back, but come back in 3 years because that's when your court date is." And then they never come back because they set up a life in America, working, living, and not paying taxes and working for cash.
Right. And then, like in San Antonio University Hospital, they use the emergency room as their doctor's home.
Yeah, well, that's across the country.
Real people come in with real issues, you know, that, and they're basically either turned away or have to wait hours and hours and hours while somebody gets seen for a sniffle.
Yeah, and I don't think they can turn. I don't think they can turn them away in an ER. I think what happens is if you don't have insurance, the charities kick in. So when my wife, if you listen to back about 10, 15 episodes, I would even say 20 episodes ago, there's an episode called Broken Glass. My wife cut her hand on a shower door. It shattered all over. That was our bill. That was our stuff. But if that happened to somebody who didn't have health insurance, legal or illegal, didn't have health insurance, they would actually get into a charity situation where a charity would come in and pay for their medical bills if they couldn't pay for it due to non-working status, whatever it may be, and which just blows my mind. It's insane.
I will tell you, my daughter, who's a veteran, she got cancer, right? And when she had cancer, she had insurance in place, but you know, there's a lot of things that don't cover. Right. And here is a veteran, a person that works, has insurance, and she still gets, I mean, out of $1 million bill, I mean, she's stuck with about
crazy.
$20,000.
That's still a lot.
And that's a veteran. Well, how come? I mean, she worked, she served her country, and then she still got to pay 20 G's. And you know, these people. I mean, I'm sorry, immigrants come over here and they get it all free. Really? Why?
Yep.
Why? Why not take care of people at home? But you know, I'm not saying.
No, take care of your own first. You take care of your family and your house before you take care of the neighbor's family, right?
Take care of Americans.
Yep.
Take care of Americans first, all Americans, and then work on the other guys, right? I don't mind helping the other guys, but Americans first, for God's sake. You know, I'll hear about, well, look at all the homeless over here. Look at the homeless in the street, man. Look at all the homeless veterans. It's unconscionable.
Well, that's the conversation I was having with somebody the other day. I can't remember the name of it, but I think it's Skid Row or something in California, right, where all the homeless people are lined up. I believe it's Oakland or Compton, whatever it is. They're all lined up on the streets in tents. But California just passed that law where now they're going to be paying for health care. They're going to be giving them free insurance, free health insurance. But yet you have people that were born here that maybe have mental illnesses or just failed in life and need that kick. Maybe they just need a haircut to get a job and a shower and a nice set of clothes to get a job. But they just don't have the funds to do it, or they're stuck in a rut. Take care of those guys first and get them off the street, and then start worrying about everybody else. That's me. That's how I see the world. That's how I see myself. And you know, it's just I think
we all know that we got vets that are homeless, and they say, well, why don't they get a job? Because they have PTSD and they can't hold a job. Right. They've got issues, and I said, and here they did a service. They went in as a regular person. They got their training. They went over and they saw horrors that people just can't even imagine. And then they come back and they're not the same. And what do? We put them in the street. I mean, what does that say about? And the people, I want all the people on your show to hear this. This is a republic, people. We, the people, are the government. Those idiots that are up there in there, they work for you.
True.
Not forgetting that.
You would want
some of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say you want to believe that because that's the way it's supposed to be set up. But we all know deep down that's not the case at all, and we can say it clearly. There's maybe a handful that really push the agendas of their communities. Positive, negative, whatever it is, because that's what you're hired to do. You work for your community. And at some point, they either stop or they get lazy or lackadaisical in their ways to where they're no longer doing that, and they're working for themselves. They're working for that the rest of the life to get that salary, that pension, that health care that they get. And I wish I worked 38 days a year, because I think that's all they meet. It's like between 38 to 60 days a year on tops. So I wish I did, and I wish I made the 120 or 150,000 now, whatever it is, 125 salary that they get. So
well, let's just be honest, okay? So we're going to just say it like it is, and I want the
it's no worries, go for it.
Listeners, I want people to listen to this. I've been around the block a long time. I was in politics, right? Because I thought it was my civic duty to try to help out, and I noticed we got 2 Navy SEALs that actually got voted in House, in Senate, and Congress. So our brothers and sisters in arms need to start thinking about public service, because the only way to fix what we have is to get people with common sense,
right,
and with honor and integrity back into the system. I believe that. But all the people need to listen to one thing. You look at people that went into Congress and Senate and even the presidency, and you look at their net worth before they went in, which wasn't much, and they walk out multi-millionaires.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
400%
I'm a great
growth.
guy with money. I really am. I know how to make money work, but I can't take their salary and in 4 years turn in the millions they did. I need their advice. I mean, I must be doing something wrong, or they are.
Well, I'll call it out. And if I'm not correct in saying this now, when I served, it was 2002 to 2006. When I served, it was it Bush and Cheney, right? I believe it was. And though they had invested, and I'm just going to say they had invested. Now, if I'm wrong and anybody wants to tell me I'm wrong, that's fine. I read the article years ago, but they had invested interest, and this is back in the day, in the minute cards where you have to put the calling cards. And they bought the payphones, and they put in the Subways, sandwich shops, and all the restaurants, the Burger Kings over there, and they had the whatever that civilian service contractor that came in. They had their hands in that. So they started there was a war that began because of certain things, and I'll leave that out of it because I have opinions on that. There was a war that started because of certain things, and because of that war, a lot of people, because you know what's going to happen, you have insider trading knowledge or insider knowledge, so to speak. You start investing and putting your money in calling cards and payphones and this and that, internet services over there, because you know that's the future, and you know you're going to have millions of troops go in and out of there. So the unfortunate aspect is sometimes we take not sometimes, but a lot of times we take advantage of our troops and the actions that are taken over there just to turn a profit. Now, I'll be honest with you. Do I think it's wrong? Yes. Do I think it's right? Yes. Like, the opportunity's there. Sometimes you got to take it to make money, but not at somebody else's liberty and death and their family members not having them return home.
Exactly. And you're talking about insider trading. It's illegal to do insider trading unless you're in the Congress or Senate. And I'm not saying that to say it literally is not illegal for them to do insider trading.
Is that a physical? Is that a written law, or is that an opinionated law?
Yeah. No, that's reason. I mean, they can do whatever they want to do, right? They live on a different standard than we do, right?
Yeah.
Is Ponzi schemes illegal? Absolutely. What is Social Security? I rest my case.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Ponzi scheme. I mean, they take
does
money
fit.
to guarantee it back, and they were never supposed to touch it. It's never even supposed to see the general fund. It's just supposed to be for Social Security, and they use that thing, and then they talk about, well, it's broke. Well, technically, it's impossible for it to be broke. For all the people that paid in for all the years, those that died, et cetera, and all that money that they had accumulated, that thing should actually be one of the most wealthy funds in the world. And it's broke. Why? Yeah. Because, they took the money out, used it for every other little thing, which was written as a guarantee that it would never happen.
Yep.
So
as per the written word, you are correct on that one. So I don't think anybody can call in now and argue with you on that. That's tremendous. Well, what I'd like to do, Mr. Moore, we'll wrap this up here today. But I think we'd like to connect with you here down the road a little bit. You're a pretty good, knowledgeable gentleman, and we'll leave you with some final words. You can let people know how to find you, where to go, and what to expect when they get started with you.
Okay, well, come see us at outdoormail.net. This is just the beginning, folks. We're going to be doing new and better things down the road. We're going to make your world a little easier on the internet. We need more and more people to join us. And for those of you that love the outdoors, we're the guys. We're going to start putting a bunch of stuff together for the outdoor folks to start reading. I'm going to start doing videos when I'm out doing my hunting, my fishing. Just kind of show you some of the new technology and new toys that are out there. And we're going to have a good time with this. And again, you're secure with us. We're not reading your emails because, quite frankly, I don't care what you say. I mean, there ain't enough time in the day for me to care what everybody says.
That's right.
And even though I'm a conservative person, I will tell you this: I believe that both sides, the left and the right, have the right to say what they want to say without being censored. They should not be curtailed in what they want to say. There's no, to me, like when they say this speech is offensive or hateful, well, that is all perspective. The person could take it that way, but hey, free speech is just that. It ain't the speech that we appreciate or we like. It's a speech we don't like that's protected. So we don't care what you say, as long as you ain't threatening anybody or, harming the country in any way. Feel free to say what you want, do what you want, because, again, nobody's watching you. Only person who should be watching is Big Brother, and we're not your Big Brother. We're one of the Americans hanging out with you.
I like that. Much appreciated, sir. It's been a great interview, conversation with you. Let's connect soon here, and you'll see this here published later tonight. And we hope to have you on again.
All right. So goodbye, brother.
Thank you, sir. You take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right. You too.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Little privacy, outdoormail.net. You guys want to set up a private internet server or service, private email service and text service, go ahead and do that. And he did say it was free. I believe if you go above, I think 25 gigabytes costs $250, and I believe 1 terabyte of data storage is $4. So utilize them, utilize that. I'm sure there's a lot of people that worry about what they're writing, even though it's not bad. What they're writing, what they're putting out there being used against them one day. Folks, take care of yourself. Find us at headtoheadpodcast.com. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and reach out to us, connect. If you guys want to send us a text message and or give us a phone call, please do so, 267-684-5501. Chris will be back in on Friday for our sports picks and politics and all that fun stuff. And he's down today, stuffing his face down in Reading Terminal in Philadelphia, enjoying his day and fighting through the VA. So hopefully he's doing well. We miss you, brother, and we'll see you up here soon. Take care, everybody. Thanks for joining us.